All right, guys. So we're back.
Part two, baby.
Part two. So we basically left off from week of February 8th. Just did my first visit. We just first hung out. Like that was our first time hanging out in person outside of talking on the phone.
Yeah.
So later on that week, there was a huge change of events, things.
Yeah, because Super Bowl is a week before
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had got word from my baby mom, my second baby mom, my daughter's mom. She was living in North Carolina. She was, said she needed some help. She was going through some things, and she wanted to move to Texas with her sister to kind of get some more support. Now, me being on my grind, like I'm a broke artist, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't really support in the ways that I want to, but I don't want my daughter to go that far to Texas. Nobody wanted that. So we kind of was just like, let's move her down here with us. We got this 4-bedroom house, and I'll be able to kind of help with Jay Liana, and while she does her thing and I do my thing. Mm-hmm. So I had no intention, in being with this woman. But I felt like me and my mom discussed, kind of doing what we had to do for Jay Liana, which we thought the best idea would be, move her down here with us, so we could kind of help out. So we go to North Carolina. I'm very anxious the whole week. I'm like, I just had this great weekend with this beautiful woman that, I feel like I could have a future with. Yeah. And now, like, I'm dad again. Like, what can I do that's best for my kid? And I don't know how to tell you that.
Now, mind you, we're not officially together or anything.
Yeah, we're not officially together. I mean,
officially, we are not together.
I still, whatever. But yeah, I just was like, I don't know how to tell you that, without you being like, oh hell no, because that's what I would have said originally. Like, nigga, you moving your baby dad in the crib with you, man, hell no. Like, you still want him for real. But my intention was just to have my daughter safe, have her closer to me so we could build that, relationship. And just make sure she had everything she needed with what I could give. And I, it hurt me. Like, it was like, damn, what am I going to do about Lauren? Because she's such a good girl. I don't want to hurt her. I'm not trying to play no games with her. And that's who I really want to be with. That's who I'm trying to have down here, not my baby mom. But I also had to play it in a way where my baby mom wouldn't be petty enough to be like, I'll come down there, but we got to be together. And if we're not together, I'm going to cause hell. So I was in a very hard spot. Like, damn, what do I need to do? So usually I'm like, I just got to be honest, you know what I'm saying? And say what I need to say, but it wasn't that simple, How do you break that to somebody? Yo, like, my baby mom gotta move, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. So,
yeah,
y'all, we literally went from talking on the phone all day, falling asleep on FaceTime at night, to
every day. Nothing.
Like, my baby mom, listening in on conversations I'm having, which, I don't care. It wasn't to be like sneaky or be like, oh man, I don't want her to hear because, I want to be with my baby mom. It was just the fact that I tried to keep peace inside the house. I don't want her damaging nothing in this house. I don't want her flipping out and nah, I gotta beat this bitch. No, I'm just like I didn't know what to do. I wanted to be a good person for you, but I also wanted to be a great dad. I take pride in that. So it
Understandable.
was just like, damn, what do I do? And I didn't want to hurt you because it hurt me. But I just was like, if I hang in here and, find a way to work this out, everything will work out.
Yeah.
I had prayed to God about it. Like, God, what do I do? And, it kind of worked out. So all on my plate at that time, it was, I got my son back in Ohio, missing me. He's calling me every day, Dad, when can I see you? I have the pressure of, proving to myself, as well as my family, people back home that, I'm coming down here and I'm going to make something of myself. I have the pressure of a label that, I have to produce these records, you know what I'm saying? Because if not, your ass is dropped. And whatever money that they give you, you got to make that back. I have the pressure of, being the best son I could be to my mom, and things that, she expected. We moved
she
down.
took a big risk herself.
Yeah, man,
Moving
she moved her whole life, switched Amazon plants for me. You know what I'm saying? She spent her last dollar on that trip, on that move. Without my mom, I wouldn't have been in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, as fast, as soon, to even be where I am today. So thank you, Mom. But yeah, like it was just so much pressure coming from everywhere. People calling me, people wanting to work, my kids, baby mom drama now. The pressure of trying to be there, have a relationship, feel love with you. Pressure on myself, man. I was in a very, I needed money. I needed money to help pay bills. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I was in a very depressed spot. I just felt pressure everywhere. So it was hard. It was hard for me. You know what I'm saying? And I carried it well. Everybody thinking I'm doing great. Oh, Jay in Atlanta, man, he meeting all these movie stars. He meeting all these rappers.
But you were doing your thing.
I sure was doing my thing. But whole time, like, what people don't understand, 90% of the industry, they're feeling the same way. Like, we look like we're okay. Like, we're making it, we're surviving. But at the end of the day, like, it's not what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't let, my supporters, my followers know that, I'm I'm struggling. But I think that that's what makes a fan become a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can relate. We know people aren't perfect. And I was just trying to navigate my way through. So moved my baby mom down and it was horrible. I don't know how you put up with that, but you made it through.
It was hard because I had a lot of those initial thoughts. Like, is he in love with her? Is he trying to play me? Is he trying to play both of us?
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, I just kind of just really had to trust how you were handling things and trust God in my gut that, if this is supposed to be and this is meant to happen, it's going to happen. And, I also understood too on one end about, not wanting Jayliana to be in a good spot,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really tough space for anybody.
Yeah. And I was appreciative, like, that you were so understanding. Because a lot of women wouldn't. Like I said, I don't know if I could have did or done what you done. That was tough because I wouldn't know. But I felt like as long as I was honest with you, that you would respect me more.
Yeah. And that's what I think I appreciated the most is the honesty.
Yeah. Because if I was trying to play game, I could have told you. I wouldn't have said anything about her being there. or you might not have known. I could be smacking it on the side, you know what I'm saying? But I just was like, I'm gonna be honest with her, and if she decides to, still continue to like me or want to have a friendship at least with me, then I'll live with that. And
I think at one point we had kind of talked about where, like, you know what, you had a lot going on, and it was like, maybe we should just be friends. And I think we were both like,
hell no,
no.
hell no. Yeah, no, I can't do it, boy.
Yeah.
So it was tough, man. It was a tough position. And on top of that, me and my mom were going through things. So she was stressed out. She had so much on her plate. She was doing a lot of the load carrying, and it was too much going on at the time. And also around the same time, I had got a call from people telling me my dad was acting, not like himself. He was saying different things, acting like, he needed to be hospitalized. So, during that time, I'm like, damn, like, I just can't deal with all this shit right now. Like, him going through his things and people telling me to come back up there, come to Ohio and check on him and do different things. And with everything else I had going on, I kind of just try to shut the door from the world for a while. I'm like, damn, everybody need me to be there for them in some way. And I can't even be here for myself.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out, like, damn, what do I do? I need peace. I need to fall back. Like, I can't be there for y'all. And so my therapy, only thing that brought me instant gratification was my music. And so I locked in and I shut the door to my room and I closed the world out. I closed my kids out. I closed my family, my relationships that I was building outside, cut my pops, everything that was bringing stress. I tried to step away because I'm like, damn, I just can't deal with that right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got tunnel vision. I'm like, you know what? Once I make it, and once I start bringing in, some good money, I can help out different people in a lot of ways. I can move my baby mom to her own spot, and help her out. I can pay for maybe childcare or somebody to watch our child, where we can both do our thing and she can be in her own space. I can, help my pops out, get him a spot, if he's bouncing house to house. I can help my moms out. And and all these situations just seem like my focus was money. I can help you move closer to me. And so I thought, at the time it was like money will solve all my problems. And it was just like, just focus. If you keep grinding, money will get my son down here, longer. But I was in for a rude awakening, like,
yeah.
I started seeing industry things that was just like, it sound good, but these people really ain't living these lives that we all think they living. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all, comment below. What would y'all have done in that situation? Would y'all have stayed through and thugged it out with somebody who moved a baby mom in or baby dad in, or would y'all jump ship?
Yeah.
Because honestly, after she moved in, it was rough. We weren't getting along. Me and my baby mom, we weren't getting along. Her and my mom, they really didn't get along, but they were getting along kind of. It was weird. And it was a bunch of, it felt fake. Like it felt like forced kind of. So time goes on and me and you, we just kind of pushing through it. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I was sneaking in my mom's room, calling you on the phone, FaceTiming you, talking to you. I was leaving the house, just so I can have that time to spend with you on the phone.
Yeah.
And it was weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we pushing through this shit. We pushing through. And, throughout that time, you just kept telling me, like, I just want you to love me for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to talk to me. I want to be with you. And I just was like, damn, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out what I can do. So we get to a point where everything shit hit the fan with my baby mom. Nobody was getting along. Me, my mom, my baby mom.
All of you guys were just.
Everybody was stressed, man. Everybody was under so much stress. Like, it's a new life, new state, new city. We don't know anybody. It's tough. So I tell my baby mom that, things between me and my mom are getting so heated that I may have to leave here because I don't want to disrespect my mom. You're supposed to honor your mother and father. And it got to the point where I was living with a motherfucker that was not my mom. It felt like the devil tried to attack me because I was so close to my goals, that he came really hard and he couldn't, I'm not impressed by money. I'm not impressed by strippers. I'm not impressed by nice houses and, nice cars. So the only way you can come at me is, through the closest people to me. So I feel like it was a demon inside my mom that was, forcing her to be mean in certain situations.
Wow.
Under stress. You know what I'm saying? So me, I hated it, but I understood, like, damn, she's under a lot of stress right now. Mm-hmm. But maybe we just need some space, just to get away from each other. But I don't want to leave her down here because I'm all she got, she all I got. But at the same time, she was my protector. Like, this my mom. This the only woman in the world who loved me unconditionally, whether if I'm broke, whether if I'm rich, whether if I'm, a dope boy, like whatever
you did, she would still love you.
She's my peace, my protector, my mom. That's my mom. So when I felt like she turned on me, it was like I'm in this whole state. I don't know nobody. And the person who I do know, who is close to me, who, birthed me, turned against me. I felt like I was alone. Like I was out there in these streets by myself, trying to figure out a way. So, it was wild. It was just wild. So time moves forward. March comes. By this time I had filmed a movie, was doing different things, and it got to the point where the signing was happening.
I was gonna say, you signed in March.
So the end of March comes, I sign the contract. I'm thinking it's the best day of my life. It's money on the table. I'm about to really get to work now. Like, it's time to hit these studios. It's time to do a bunch of stuff. It's time to get out here, start trying to, prove myself to these industry people. And boom, everything was going cool. I'm like, this is great. I called you, told you I was super excited. We went out, celebrated, me, and my homies. And right after that, shit really hit the fan. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking everything is cool now.
Right, because you didn't sign everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Now.
Oh, yeah, it's the shit, like, I was expecting, a lot more money. And I'm going to put this shit out there on the table, y'all. Man, I got $2,500. This deal promised me $50,000 for a recording budget, to go out here and make these records. Now, mind you, I have records. I don't need $50K to go record a whole project. Like, I'm an engineer and I have records. So take this money and I'm like, I'm gonna put it in my pocket or just use it when I really need it, so that way I don't owe that much money back to this person. So the deal was great. Contract was good. I was like part owner of everything, what I'm saying, royalties and publishing. So I'm like, we on to something good. We on to something new. So after that, everything was just kind of stagnant. Like I was going through it with my mom real bad then, and we were just butting heads for no reason. And so I told my baby mom, like, listen, you have to find somewhere to go, because I'm to that point where I just need to get out of here. And if I do get out of here, at least you have somewhere to go. I don't just want to leave you here, you know what I'm saying, by yourself. And if I leave, you don't have a vehicle, where are you gonna go? Mm-hmm. So me and her arguing back and forth about it. And, at the same time, my mom's telling me like, yeah, they have to find somewhere to go. They got to go. So it's the pressure of me having to find somewhere for them to go to. And I feel horrible because I just moved you out of North Carolina. You just lost your apartment. You have every right to be pissed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I would be heated. I would be steamed. Okay. So I felt horrible, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I didn't have the funds, the means to say, you know what, I'm just going to go get us a 3-bedroom house right now. And y'all just stay there. I'm going to go back to Ohio. I didn't have it. So I'm like, listen, just please get my daughter somewhere safe. You and her, y'all go somewhere safe. And that's the only thing I could do. I'm like, call some cousins back home. She from New York. So I'm like, call some cousins back home. Call somebody in North Carolina.
She could call her, say that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, just make sure y'all have somewhere to, don't go to no shelter. Like, nah, I can't have my daughter doing that. So after a lot of arguing, she one day was just like, you know what? F you, take me to the Greyhound tomorrow. So she packs up, what she can. And she left about beginning of April, I want to say. And I haven't spoke to my daughter since. And it's, February. So it's going on a year. I haven't got to FaceTime, or see my daughter, you know what I'm saying? So she's so angry at me and thinks I'm the person who kicked her out and put her on the street that she won't let me talk to my daughter, which is like, I get that you're pissed, like you have every right to be.
Right. Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. I get some of her frustration.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
Yeah.
And
but
I hope that you
don't
guys...
take my daughter from me. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. So, I've reached out. I reach out all the time. Hey, I would like to see her. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry for how things happen. Hey, I want to be there for her. Hey, I want to, but,
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
She don't want to answer the phone.
Exactly. So, boom, she leaves. I'm like, okay, one problem, check mark. Felt like a weight got off of me. Now I gotta call you, like, what's up? So I believe it wasn't too long after that, like, that you were like, you know what? I'm coming down there, bro. Like, I got to come see you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Pull up, bro. Like, let's do it. So I forget what was the date, but you came down again to visit, and we spent a weekend together, and everything was so great. Like, this time you didn't stay at a hotel.
I stayed with you and your mom.
Yeah, you stayed in the crib, and we had a great time. We
no, this time I stayed for like a week.
Yeah, so you were supposed to stay for a weekend, right?
No, I was supposed to stay for a week.
Yeah, you were supposed to stay for a week, and then when that time, because I went to work that whole week. So then when time was up, you were like,
I didn't want to go.
I really don't want to go.
I don't want to go home.
Like, we had such a great week. We had even deeper conversations. I had said some things that I'm like, I want to see where her mind is if I ask her this. What is she thinking? What would she do? And everything just checked out. It was just like, it felt normal to wake up with you every day. Like, it felt natural. It felt like you supposed to be here. We're supposed to be doing this together. So you got to the point where you were like, man, I don't want to go home, bro. Like, I work from home. I'm getting the same money.
Yeah, I boohoo cried. I think that
Cried,
day
man.
before I was supposed to
Yeah, yeah,
leave.
yeah. We went to cookout and
Cookout.
you cried at cookout. I was like, damn, it's a sad
Yeah.
cookout today.
Yeah.
And so that's when I knew, like, yeah, bro, like, we getting real serious, dog. Like, we don't even want to leave each other. This shit crazy. So we decided that, you should stay another week.
Yeah.
So I think you stayed maybe 2 more days, I believe, or maybe a day or two. And that's when me and my mom got into it real bad. Real bad. And I said, I'm done with this shit. Like, I got to go. I got to get out of here. So I pack up a bag, pack up, some of my stuff, load up my car. And the next day we rode out. And one thing that I respected about you was you had told me, babe, you was like, listen, if you want, come live with me. You said, don't worry about no bills. You was like, I work for this company. I'm HR. I could put you in the system, put you on to some money. If that's what you want to do, you could come just focus on your music. I'm not worried about nothing. I got it. Just come get your mind right. I don't want you stressed out. Don't worry about nothing. Come stay with me. And that's real boss ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know each other that long, and for me to come in and you welcome me, like, as soon as we got here, I think the day after, you gave me a key here. And I moved my things in, changed some of your things around, made me a little recording setup. I was recording in the closet. And everybody still think I'm in Atlanta. Everybody's like, oh, Jay in Atlanta doing this thing. Man, it was months before people even knew I was in Columbus. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in Columbus and just doing my thing, like, getting closer with you, da-da-da-da-da, And it was a crazy experience because I'm just like, wow, like, this girl really liked me enough to, have me come in her crib and say, you know what, don't worry about nothing.
Yeah.
I got it. Just focus on whatever you want to do, but I support you.
I think my mindset at that time was just more of, like, how much more could you go through?
Right.
Like, you had really been through some hard stuff mentally, physically, emotionally. And I know if it was me, like, you just needed a place to feel safe.
Yeah.
That's all you needed at that moment. Like, we can work out the legalities of finances when we get there. We can work out home setup. But for me, I just wanted you to sit down and breathe and feel safe for however long that needed to be.
Right. It was beautiful because remember, we had conversations. I'm in Atlanta, you here, and I'm crying like, man, I'm about to quit, bro. Like, I'm done with this shit. My label wasn't moving. They ain't spending no money. We ain't doing nothing. Where's my 50K, nigga? Like, what are we doing? We got the record.
And up and uprooted my whole entire life to come down here.
Me and my mom getting into it. We done moved. We done did all this shit, and y'all ain't doing nothing. Like, all we had to do was we had the song. I got hella songs, but we had the record we was gonna go with. All we had to do, people telling him this is what we need to do. So the label ain't moving. I'm like, well, shit, when y'all niggas is ready to move, I'll come back down.
I'll move back,
to Atlanta. So,
at this point, we're hitting the summertime.
Yeah, we hitting the summertime, and
Our birthdays happen.
Birthdays come around.
Things are going, at least between us, things are going good.
Things are going really good.
Great,
And boom, so our birthdays happen. Everything is lit. We feeling each other. We have a better understanding. We have problems like everybody else. We argue. We didn't agree on certain things, but one thing that really stood out for me was just like, no matter how much we argued, no matter how much we disagreed, you never said get out. Or you never said, you could get the fuck out my place.
Yeah.
When you had every right to, like, this is your place. So you could have been like, you know what? Yeah, you gotta go. Or you never made me feel any less of a man. With like, oh, well, you could leave, or nigga, this is my place. I'm a dude, da 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 da. Like, it was never none of that. So it was like, oh yeah, like I love this girl. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what we go through, she's going to be down for me 100%.
But if you're my family, if you're, somebody I love and care for,
why would you do that, huh?
Yeah. And I think too, I think one of the biggest things that we had to learn about each other was our lifestyles.
Mm-hmm.
I am somebody where I have friends. I like to travel, go out, hang out, and you are more of a homebody.
Yeah.
You have your moments where you like to
go some
out,
things,
but
I don't have friends.
Yeah, and I think because of your past relationships, you didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't, because I've always, like any guy, I tell you, like we, friends most of the times are threats, because, as soon as we in drama or, we ain't agreeing, they the first ones to root for you to go do something different, or put you in a situation where your eyes can wonder. And so I had been in, relationships where it was like, I don't trust your friends because I know what they do type shit. And I know they could be a influence for you to do something, crazy. And at first I was just like, my big thing is sacrifice. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice for me? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to, how far are you willing to go?
And that's the same thing on my end.
Yeah, like, because for me, if, I meet somebody and, they don't like something, and I really like this person, I'm like, okay, well, how can I change that? Some people, they just like, this is just who I am. No, that's just who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? It's not, we're never just one thing. So when I put you through those tests of being like, you know what? Would you stop going so many places if I didn't like it? Or would you not go out or going on these girl trips? All niggas hate girl trips. You feel me? Like, because we know what happens on those trips. But then I figured out, like, that wasn't you as a person at all. And that's what I was just about to say.
I think you had to figure out and realize that me, even my friends, we're grown.
Yeah.
Very grown.
But it's still, it came from a point of insecurity. Like, I didn't want anything happening because, like, you may not have a mindset of, you may have the mindset of going out to somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and being like, yeah, I have no ill intention. But once liquor get to flowing and
temptation,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you go into a place of temptation where there's other men, there's naked men, there's, this, that, and the other. Hell, you could leave that shit in another country and I'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. So it was just like, like, I really don't like that shit. And then you made me feel really comfortable by expressing that. Most women, they'd be like, oh, you controlling or you're insecure and da-da-da-da-da. But it's like, yeah, maybe I am a little bit of insecure because I've been doing so much bullshit, you know what I'm saying, with people. So now I have to, just like people like, oh, I got to protect my heart.
And I think on my end, I thought that you were trying to be controlling.
Yeah, but it was like, I have to protect my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Protecting your heart is in a lot of different forms. Some people, they don't show this side of themselves by, that's them protecting their hearts, or they don't do certain things. I gotta protect myself. So I think in the nature of me trying to protect myself, it was like,
I don't like you doing that.
Yeah, I ain't feeling that. Like, let's just chill. Like, let's just be home. Like, let's just do our thing. So at first it was all hell, when we were going through that. And then you said, you know what, Jay Sean, I'd rather not lose you because I love you. And that is when I knew, like, yeah, bro, like, you know what, I feel secure. I feel safe, that this girl is willing to fall back a little bit from people and not do the things that she loves so much, so often for me.
Yeah.
Which was like, now I would do anything for you.
But we're also at the time in a new relationship, and being in a relationship, I'm not single anymore.
Yeah.
So I have to consider your thoughts, your feelings, everything. And if you were not comfortable with something, I wanted you to be open enough to be like, well, this is why I'm not comfortable. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think we had to find our own rhythm with our lifestyles.
Because at first it was so uncomfortable talking about that with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm Jay Sauce, like, everybody, that's a pretty boy, whatever, da 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 da. So coming out and telling you, like, yo, I have insecurities too. Like, I get jealous. I'm a human being. Like, I have feelings. I get jealous. I don't want you doing certain things. I don't want certain people looking at you in a certain way. Like, it is what it is. Is it a crime? Like, a lot of people make it feel like it's a crime, but why can't I care for my person? Why is me setting my standards to a certain standard? Why is that insecurity? Why is me telling you, no, I won't go for this shit, or no, I don't want you doing this, or no, I don't want you doing, why is that insecurity or controlling? Why is that not just, this is what I expect? Like, when you go to a new job, they tell you the guidelines. I expect A, B, C, and D. If you can't fulfill these, are they controlling you? Maybe, but shit, if you can't get it done, next.
So either you stay or you go.
Hey, this is what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, bye. So I just appreciate you for making me feel comfortable. And it took us a long time to get there. It took us a little bit, and we had to work on communication. And I don't want people out there to think that our shit was just peaches and cream.
There were
Rose
definitely
is like
some growing. I think growing that we both had to do. And I think what I am grateful that when we do argue or we do fight, we come back and talk through it, apologize, if something was said because we were just mad at the time, or and for me, like, I felt like a lot of things that I thought that had healed, or that I thought that I had worked through, even through therapy, was coming up and was coming out, and I had to really check myself as well too. Like, that was a lot.
It was a challenge.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was just God testing us to see if we really here for the moment, or are we really, is this what we want?
Yeah.
And so, time moves forward, and our birthdays happen, and right a week after our birthdays, I got a phone call. Me and you
We're in the car together.
Yeah, so you were supposed to go to work that day.
Yeah.
But you just woke up and you said you felt weird. And you was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not feeling it. And so I was still looking for a job, but I had came across Amazon Flex. So I'm working Flex, y'all, and I'm about to go do my first shift. First time ever doing this. First time.
Like, wow.
So they was like, pickup is at like 5, right? So I ask you, I'm like, well, babe, since you didn't go to work, do you want to, come do these deliver these packages with me and stuff? And you were like, you know what? I don't know. So I'm like, fuck, like, come on, babe, just come with me. So eventually you was like, all right, bet. So we gather up, get ready, and we get on the highway, 270 to be exact. And we on our way to pick up these packages, and I get a phone call, and it's from a Maslin number. And I'm like, who the hell is this? So literally, I swear on my mom, right before I got this phone call, something in my mind said, yo, bro, you know, all this stuff been going on with your dad. You need to check on him before something happened. And so literally, I swear that thought popped in my head. And right after that, I got a phone call.
Mm-hmm. They called you twice, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. I declined the first one, and they called right back. Usually when somebody call like that, okay, it's somebody who must know me.
Yep.
So they call. I answer the phone. I put it on speaker. Remember, I was clowning with them. I'm like, hello? Well, no, I was like, who is this? And it's like, this is, you know, blah, 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 from Maslin Police Department, da, da, da. So I'm like, I got a warrant or something. Like, what's going on? What happened? And no, it wasn't a warrant, you know, and you heard the message too. They said, yeah, Jay Sean, you know, sorry. We found your father dead this morning in an apartment in Maslin, and you know, you was just like, babe, get off. Next exit, get off. I couldn't even say anything.
Yeah, so I think I took the phone and
you
started
took the
talking
phone
to the officer.
Yeah, and started talking, and I pulled over, and it was just boom.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So we come back home. I cancel the shift. We come back home, gather up everything we can, and fly to Maslin.
Go to Maslin, yeah.
You know, so just the way you had my back, you know, from getting a phone call to, babe, I'm packing our bag. Babe, what do you need? Hurry up. Like, don't worry about nothing. I got it. You know, was just like, damn. Like, it was like, damn, like nobody's done that, you know?
Yeah.
And I know stuff like that don't happen every day, but.
And, you know, I lost my mom at a really young age, and then I had lost my grandmother as well too. So fortunately and unfortunately, I think I'm very familiar with death and grief. And I just think I just went into, I know what this feels like. You're not going to be thinking, so let's just go get this, let's go.
So it was like, it was crazy, you know, staying up there,
planning
a funeral, because I'm the oldest kid. Planning a funeral, no money, just, you know, off the strength of what my dad had, and the GoFundMe, and talking to family, everybody blowing my phone up. We in a room, not a hotel room, but at grandma's house, you know what I'm saying? And our whole lifestyle is just changed right now, because we used to have in this whole space, cooking, doing what we do, to, okay, now we in this room, you're working with hella people in the house. And it was just like, we was there for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
So for 2 weeks, it was tough. You know, you just being there for me, you know, as I'm crying, as I'm grieving, as I'm trying to just figure everything out, was just like, the way you stepped up was just like, damn. Yeah. So even before that happens, guys, let's take a step back. We go to Canton, I want to say maybe June or maybe in July. And you met Dad.
Oh, yeah. I forgot why we went up there, but yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I met him a couple times, but the last time he was at your cousin's house. He was staying there.
And so he pulled me to the side, and you know, he kind of told me, he was like, listen, son, he was like, she the one for you. You know, he was like, don't fuck this one up. You know, don't fuck it up, boy. And so I was like, all right, Dad, all right. And it was just so many different things, like family members. We all got family members that don't like nobody, you know, that you like, I ain't gonna bring them around. But everybody who I'm like, they don't like nobody, they like you. So I was like, damn, like this person, you for real, you like her? Quit playing. And I'm waiting, you know, for somebody to just be like, nah, I don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that, so I was like, damn. And then also on top of that, I took you to meet my grandma, and she's my biggest critic. And I'm just like, we're gonna go through this weekend, she's gonna spend some time with her, and I'm just like, I can't wait to hear the aftermath, like what is she gonna say about
Mm-hmm.
her, so we spent the weekend. And after we left that weekend, I called my grandma, like, grandma, okay, like, I'm by myself now, what you think about her, And she just was like, she just give, wifey vibes, you know what I'm saying, like, she probably, you know the best thing you've brought, you know what I'm saying, like, I approve for real. And after that, it was just like, yeah, okay. So throughout the year, I'm getting all of these confirmations, like, yes, this is looking more and more like my person, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was wild. But yeah, after dad died, and the way you were there and how you stepped up and you took care of everything that I missed, you know what I'm saying, and made
Mm-hmm.
sure I was cool. It was just like, yeah, that's some real boss shit right there, man. I appreciated that, man. Sticking by my side. You was tired. We was hot. We was
Yeah.
irritated. I had a rash break out on me. You helped me with that. Like, it was
Yeah,
just
we
so
had to go to
much.
the emergency room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It was too much going on all at the same time while I'm still waiting to blow up from the label.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, that's part 2 of Lo and Jay's love story. If y'all enjoying, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and tap into part 3.
We'll see you soon.